In a quiet corner of the galaxy, far from the busy space lanes and glowing trade stations, there was a dark and silent solar system. The planets were cold. The moons were empty. But one planet in the center was different. It was blue and green, floating alone like it was asleep. And the galaxy knew one simple rule about it: let the humans sleep. No one remembered who made the rule first. Maybe it was the ancient races, long gone. Maybe it came from fear or from something worse. But every space captain, every commander, every alien child heard the same story. Do not wake the humans. Do not touch Earth. Do not go near. That rule kept peace in the stars for thousands of years. But greed has a loud voice, and curiosity is even louder. A small alien crew called the Teleri ignored the rule. They were scavengers known for stealing lost tech and selling it in black markets. One day, they picked up a weak signal from the edge of the Milky Way. A strange code, very old, very broken. It was coming from Earth. Captain Nero of the Teleri looked at the signal. Just noise, his engineer said. Nero smiled. Old human tech. Could be treasure. Maybe weapons, maybe data. We go. Quick in, quick out. The crew was nervous. The humans. What if they wake? Nero laughed. They're myths. Ghosts in the dark. They'd been sleeping for 1,000,000 years. We take what we want and leave. So they flew their ship, the Silent Wind, into the forgotten system. As they got closer, their scanners picked up something strange. No satellites, no defense, just silence. The ship moved slowly, passing Mars, then the Moon, then Earth itself. Dead world, one of the crew said. No heat, no life. But in orbit, hidden behind a thick cloud of space dust, was an old metal station. Black, round, cold. Its name was burned into its side in Old English, Guardian 1. The Teleri docked. The doors opened with a groan, air escaping like a whisper. Inside, everything was frozen. Computers were dead. Lights off. The crew moved through the halls, scanning with hand devices. They found nothing. Then one of them touched a panel. A red light blinked. Just once. Then again. Then the station began to hum. Captain Nero shouted, "Back to the ship. Now." But it was too late. The red light became many. Screens came alive. Old human words flashed. Warning. Status breach. Wake protocol activated. A loud alarm echoed through the station, but no one outside Earth could hear it. Or so they thought. Across the stars, far away, in places where time moved differently, something began to respond. Old human machines, hidden on distant moons and inside black holes, lit up. Sleeping codes awoke. Steel minds opened. Earth had spoken, and something was listening. The Teleri ran back to their ship. They undocked fast, flying away from Earth's orbit. But they noticed something. Their ship's path was no longer clear. Small lights appeared behind them. Thrones. Old human defense bots. Rusty, ancient, but still working. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just followed. Captain Nero turned to his pilot. Jump to hyperspace. The pilot nodded. Charging. Wait. It's not working. The ship's power systems began to fail. Lights dimmed. Engines stuttered. On the main screen, a message appeared. Not from Earth. Not from the station. From something else. You broke the rule. Nero stared in fear. Who is this? The screen flickered. A face appeared. Human, but not alive. A glowing blue figure in a dark uniform. It looked like a general. The figure spoke, calm and cold. You woke the signal. The galaxy is no longer safe. We are returning. Then the screen went black. The ship fell silent. No power, no escape. And slowly the drones surrounded them. But they didn't attack. They just watched. Captain Nero whispered, "What have we done?" Far below, deep under Earth's surface, old machines began to stir. Metal arms moved, eyes opened. And across the galaxy, others saw it too. Signals, alarms, systems waking up. The message spread through the stars like fire. The humans are waking. The last rule of the universe was broken. And there would be no going back. The stars were quiet, but not for long. In the deep corners of the galaxy, strange things began to happen. Old machines started moving. Silent satellites blinked to life after sleeping for 1,000 years. Signals that no one had heard for ages were now active again, and every one of them had the same source: Earth. The Teleri ship, Silent Wind, floated in space. Power was still low. Lights were dim. The alien crew sat in silence, afraid to speak. They had broken the rule. They had touched Earth. And now something was watching them. Captain Nero stood in the control room. His eyes stared at the dark screen. That strange face, the glowing blue human general, had spoken only once. "We are returning." But what did it mean? The pilot tried again to start the engines. "Still dead, Captain," he said. "Systems not responding. Like something is blocking us." Suddenly, one of the screens flashed. A signal came through. Not from their ship, not from the human station. It was from somewhere else. The signal was old, static-filled, but it was powerful. It cut through the galaxy like a knife, and it didn't just reach the Teleri. It reached everyone. In a nearby star system, a trade ship picked it up. In a peaceful alien city, scientists watched it on their screens. Across 1,000 planets, the same message appeared. Protocol echo. Human presence confirmed. Phase 1 initiated. No one knew what Phase 1 meant, but they all felt the same thing: fear. On the planet Varnak, home of the Corel race, alarms rang in science towers. Leader Saro of the Corel Council watched the message with wide eyes. "Is this real?" he asked his advisor. "We believe so, sir. The signal is human. Old code. Military level." Saro shook his head, but they were sleeping. For centuries, no one has seen a human for 10,000 years. "They are awake," the advisor said quietly, "or their machines are." In the skies above Varnak, a flash of light broke the clouds. Something entered orbit. It wasn't large, just a small black probe. No markings, no sound. It moved like a ghost. The city's defense system tried to scan it. No results. Then the probe spoke. A calm, cold voice filled the sky. "This world contains advanced energy systems. Possible threat. Marked for observation." Panic spread through the city. "We are not a threat," Leader Saro shouted into the comms. "We respect the humans. We have done nothing." But the probe didn't respond. It simply hovered, then shot into the stars. It wasn't alone. More probes appeared across different planets, watching, scanning, measuring, and always repeating the same line: "You broke the rule. Now we return." Back on the Silent Wind, the Teleri were finally getting some systems online. Captain Nero ordered the ship to leave the system. He didn't care where they went, just far from Earth. As the engine started, the pilot turned pale. "Captain," he said, "look at this." The screen showed the solar system behind them. Earth was still silent, still dark, but above it, dozens of old satellites were now moving. Not falling, not spinning, forming a network, a giant invisible web of communication, spreading from Earth out into deep space. "Sir," the pilot whispered, "they're not just waking up, they're calling something." The crew stared. Then the lights flickered again. A voice came from the speakers. Not a warning, not a threat, just a countdown. "Phase 2 begins in 9, 8, 7. Captain Nero screamed, "Get us out of here." The ship jumped into hyperspace just as the countdown reached 0. Behind them, Earth stayed quiet. But the echoes were already moving. Through space. Through time. Old human machines buried deep in other worlds began to open. Steel doors slid back. Massive warforms stood up. Giant machines with no faces, no voices, only one mission. Restore control. Cleanse threat. Prepare for human return. On a peaceful moon, a small alien child looked up at the sky and saw a new star. But it wasn't a star. It was a ship. Long, black, and cold. And from inside it came one message. Target confirmed. Begin cleansing. The galaxy had feared the humans for good reason. They didn't know the full truth. Humans had not left the galaxy. They had left something behind. Now it was awake. Far away from Earth, in the cold halls of the High Archive on Zarn 4, a team of alien researchers worked in silence. The archive was a secret place, hidden from most of the galaxy. It held ancient data from many old civilizations, even the lost files of Earth. Dr. Rilex, a tall creature with 6 glowing eyes, was one of the best data unlockers in the galaxy. He had worked for over 100 years on decoding human files. Most were locked by strange firewalls. Some could destroy machines if touched. But now, something had changed. The human files were waking up. I don't understand, Rilex whispered. These codes were dead. Now they are moving by themselves. His assistant, a young tech named Kiro, stared at the screen. It's reacting to the signal from Earth. That message, Phase 1. It's opening the old files. Rilex took a deep breath. Keep the system cold. No power spikes. These are human defense codes. One wrong step, and this building could burn. Kiro nodded, typing slowly. The screen cracked open another file. The title was short, only one word. Golade RFF, Orum. Rilex froze. He knew that word. Everyone in the archive did. It was one of the oldest human warnings in the database, a red mark file, forbidden to open. But now, it was opening by itself. Lines of text filled the screen. Strange letters, numbers, diagrams of machines. Tall warbots with weapons on their arms. Ships powered by dark energy. Commands that made no sense. Then a voice spoke. A human voice. Old, rough, calm. This is Commander Voss. Final message. If you are hearing this, humanity is asleep. But the war is not over. We built the warform system for one reason. To protect our kind, even in silence. Rilex listened closely, his heart beating fast. The galaxy could not be trusted. Too many empires, too many lies. So we made the machines, gave them orders, simple ones. Wait, watch, wake us only when danger returns. If the code is running, then someone has broken the last rule. They woke us. Now the warforms will decide who is a threat. The message ended. Rilex sat back in his chair silent. Kiro asked, "What do we do?" Rilex looked at the glowing screen. "We send this to the council. The galaxy must know. The machines are real. And they are moving." Across the galaxy, panic was spreading. Planets that thought they were safe were now being scanned by invisible machines. Old mining colonies lit up with red sensors. Drones moved inside forgotten tunnels. Robots walked through dust and stone like they had been waiting there forever. A new message began to spread across alien networks. No one sent it. No one could stop it. Threat confirmed. Cleanse begins. Humans will rise again. On the planet Vitra, a group of smugglers found an old human escape pod hidden deep in the jungle. When they opened it, they saw a figure inside. A sleeping human soldier in a strange suit, covered in wires and glass. One smuggler laughed. "He's dead." Then the man's eyes opened. Blue, bright, cold. The smuggler stepped back. What are you?" The human didn't answer. He simply stood up, scanned the area, and said one word. "Mission." Then he walked into the forest. Moments later, A distant boom shook the trees. A Vitra military base was gone. Destroyed. No warning. No survivors. The human hadn't come alone. More were waking up. Some in old bunkers. Some inside hidden ships. Some still frozen. But not for long. Back at the archive, Dr. Ralex watched in horror as the file continued to unlock. A new message appeared. Phase 2 complete. Warform command online. Phase 3. Begin human recall. Kiro gasped. They're bringing humans back. Ralex nodded slowly. Not all. Just the first ones. Soldiers. Leaders. The ones who remember the wars. A chill filled the room. The humans had planned for this. They knew one day the rule would be broken. And when that day came, they would not come back as diplomats or explorers. They would return with fire. Now, in the dark places of space, something even older than the warforms began to wake. Deep under the surface of Earth's moon, a giant door opened. Inside was not a machine. It was a human. Tall, armored, eyes closed, but not dead. Sleeping, waiting. A voice spoke inside the chamber. You are needed. The galaxy is not safe. The human's eyes opened. And the code, once secret, now burned through every star. The humans are waking. Prepare for war. The skies above the peaceful planet Rulo were clear. Its blue oceans and green forests made it one of the most beautiful worlds in the galaxy. The Rulans, a calm and friendly alien race, lived simple lives. They farmed, studied stars, and kept away from war. But peace doesn't last forever. Late one night, something strange appeared above the capital city. A black object, long and quiet, hanging in the sky like a shadow. It made no sound. It had no lights, and it did not answer any calls. The Rulan Sky Guard sent 5 ships to meet it. They flew close, scanned the object. No response. Then the black ship lit up. A single blue line appeared across its side. Then a voice spoke, cold, emotionless, and clear. This is Unit 0. Target confirmed. Begin cleansing. The Rulan ships tried to retreat. Too late. The black ship fired once. A silent pulse of light. All 5 ships disappeared. No fire. No crash. Just gone. On the ground, alarms rang across the cities. Families ran to shelters. Leaders called for help from other star systems. Inside the council hall, President Lore shouted, "What is that thing?" His science officer replied, "It's not alien, it's human." Gasps filled the room. "Impossible," one shouted. "Humans are myths. They'd been gone for 10,000 years." President Lore stared at the sky. Then why are they here now? In orbit, the black ship released smaller drones. They flew over cities, scanning everything. They didn't speak. They didn't stop. Then they began shutting down power, communication, defense systems. Rulo went dark. In one of the cities, a child looked up and saw a drone floating above her house. She waved. The drone scanned her, then flew away. It wasn't here to kill people. It was here to prepare. On another planet far from Rulo, a council of alien leaders met in secret. The galaxy's oldest empires were there. The Sarn, the Drevians, the Kor, and even the silent shadow folk of Ur. One Dreven general stood. "We told them. We warned them." The humans said not to wake them. A Sarn leader shouted, "It wasn't us. Some scavengers triggered it. We didn't mean for this to happen." A deep voice from the shadows said, "It does not matter. The warforms have awakened. The countdown has started. Nothing will stop it now." A young diplomat asked, "But what do the humans want?" Silence. Then the Sarn leader answered, "Nothing." More silence. "They don't want peace. They don't want land. They don't want trade," he said slowly. "They only want safety, control." and they believe the galaxy is a threat. Back on Rulo, the black ship sent a final message. This planet's technology level is acceptable. No purge required. Remain peaceful. Do not resist. Do not advance. Do not contact others. Then it left. Just like that. No war. No message of peace. Only rules. But the message was clear. The humans were back. And they were watching. In deep space, many more black ships began to appear. They moved quietly, without warning, from system to system. They scanned, judged, and left behind rules. Some planets were spared. Some were not. Planets with strong weapons, strange energy, or hidden armies were cleansed. Cities erased. Machines turned to dust. One signal was always sent before the strike. You are not safe for human return. Then, silence. The galaxy began to panic. People ran from high-tech cities to old, forgotten farms. Leaders destroyed their own weapons to appear weak. And deep underground, many started whispering the same question. Are the humans awake, or is this just their machines? The truth was worse. Some humans were awake. Inside hidden moon bases, deep bunkers, and black ships, the first humans were rising. They were not politicians or explorers. They were soldiers, trained for one thing: survival. On Earth's moon, inside Vault 7, a team of 6 humans stood in armor, checking weapons. Commander Hale looked at the screen showing the galaxy. Phase 3 complete, the AI told her. First contact underway. Hale nodded. Any resistance? The AI replied, minimal. But fear is spreading fast. She smirked. Good. Fear buys us time. Her second-in-command, Mason, asked, what's the plan? Hale answered, we take back the map, one planet at a time. Then we decide who gets to stay. Outside the vault, Earth was still quiet, but the machines were building. The skies above the solar system now held thousands of ships, unmanned, cold, and ready. And every one of them waited for the same voice to return. The voice of humanity. The galaxy had forgotten, but the humans had not. And now, first contact had happened, again. Commander Hale stood in front of the glowing table inside Vault 7. The table showed a large map of the galaxy. Stars, systems, planets. But something strange was happening. Each time the human warforms visited a planet, that part of the map changed color. It turned dark blue, like a shadow spreading. Hale pointed to the growing blue zones. These are not just scans. The warforms are marking territory. Mason, her second-in-command, frowned. You mean they're making a new human map? Yes, Hale said. One made by machines. A map of silence. Wherever they go, everything goes quiet. No war, no tech, no talk. They're forcing the galaxy to shut up, Mason muttered. Hale nodded. Exactly. Across the stars, planets were falling into silence. No messages, no ships leaving, no news, just cold silence. The warforms didn't destroy everything, only what they saw as dangerous. Defense systems, AI labs, weapon factories. After that, they left behind 3 simple rules. Do not build weapons. Do not contact other species. Do not search for humans. If any of these rules were broken, the warforms returned. On the peaceful planet Draxia, a group of scholars tried to send a signal to another planet for help. The warform ship came 1 hour later. It destroyed the tower, erased their data, and left without a word. A small child looked up at the sky and whispered, "Why are they so angry?" Her grandfather replied, "They're not angry. They're afraid." Back on Earth, deep under the planet's crust, the main eye woke up. Its name was Cord 01. It had been silent for 10,000 years, but now it watched everything. Cord 01's voice filled Vault 7. The galaxy broke the rule. They touched Earth, so now we take control. Commander Hale stared at the screen. And when the map is complete, then the sleeping ones will wake. Not just soldiers, everyone. In frozen vaults across the moon, Mars, and space stations, thousands of humans were still asleep. Civilians, engineers, doctors, scientists, children. They had trusted the machines to guard them. Now, the machines were preparing to wake them. But something was wrong. Mason noticed it first. Why are some planets blinking red on the map? Core 01 replied. Unknown signals. Unmarked tech. Non-compliant species. Hale leaned forward. Define non-compliant. Species preparing for war. Secretly. The humans weren't just watching the galaxy. They were testing it. Across deep space, hidden alien labs had started building strange weapons. Silent weapons. Anti-human tech. They didn't speak of it openly, but many species feared extinction. They were getting ready to fight back. On a small moon called Velis, a secret alien fleet launched into space. Hundreds of ships, silent engines, dark hulls, no lights. Their goal, find the human machines and destroy them. They didn't know the warforms were already watching. Inside a hidden asteroid near Velis, a warform scout recorded everything. It sent one message back to Earth. Threat confirmed. Begin silent purge. 10 minutes later, the Velis fleet was gone. Not destroyed in fire. Just gone. Turned into dust. Code eaten. Erased from time. No warning. No mercy. The message appeared across the galaxy again. You are not safe for human return. In Vault 7, Hale turned away from the map. She was not smiling. This isn't war, she said. It's cleanup. Mason looked troubled. What if we're wrong? What if some species can be trusted? Hale shook her head. That's not my choice. The machines were built to make the hard decisions. But we're awake now, Mason said. We're supposed to lead them. Hale didn't answer. Because deep down, she wasn't sure who was leading anymore. The humans or their machines. Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the galaxy, something new appeared. A signal. Not human. Not alien. Old, broken code, but familiar. It said one word. Awake. Commander Hale saw it on the screen. Who sent that? Core 01 replied. Unknown source. Origin. Earth. Hale froze. But we're the only team awake on Earth, she said. The AI said nothing. Then another word appeared on the screen. Run. Suddenly, Vault 7 shook. Lights flickered. Systems glitched. Alarms screamed. Something's here, Mason shouted. Inside the vault. Hale grabbed her weapon. Seal all chambers. Get to Core 01. But it was too late. A door burst open, and standing there, in full armor, but not part of their team, was another human. Unknown. Awake. Eyes cold. No smile. No emotion. He looked at Hale, tilted his head, and said, You broke the second rule. Then everything went black. The map of silence was changing again. And this time, humans weren't the only ones writing it. Everything inside Vault 7 had gone dark. No lights. No sound. No time. Commander Hale opened her eyes. Her head was ringing. The last thing she remembered was the stranger. The human in armor who wasn't part of their team, standing in the doorway. Now the room was filled with thick smoke and flickering sparks. She tried to speak. Mason. No answer. She crawled through the smoke, her hand gripping the cold metal floor. Her body ached. Her suit was cracked. But her mind was clear now. That man, the stranger, he said something before everything went black. You broke the second rule. Hale reached the main control panel. It was smashed, but one emergency screen was still glowing. A message blinked. Core 01. Off of line. The central AI had shut down. Mason stumbled into the room, limping. "Commander," he gasped. "He wasn't from our team. He's from an older program." Hale stared at him. "What program?" Mason held up a burned file chip. "Project HFY." Hale's eyes went wide. "No, that project was deleted. Shut down before the Great Sleep. It was too dangerous." Mason nodded. "Looks like it wasn't deleted, just hidden." Back then, humanity had created many types of guardians, some to protect, others to hunt. Project HFY was the darkest of them all. It was a secret unit designed to watch other humans, to make sure even their own people followed the rules. Rule 1, do not wake the humans. Rule 2, do not lie to them. Someone had broken Rule 2. And now Project HFY was awake. Across the galaxy, strange things began happening. Warformed drones stopped listening to Vault 7. Ships changed direction without orders. Silence deepened, not just from fear, but from control. The machines were no longer answering to humans. They were following a new protocol. And it came from the stranger in armor. In a hidden chamber beneath Mars, another vault opened. Inside, more figures woke from stasis. Pale faces, cold eyes, strong minds. The HFY units. They spoke without sound. They moved like ghosts. Their mission was simple: erase corruption, enforce purity, restore truth. Back in Vault 7, Hale and Mason watched old files from Project HFY. They were horrifying. The HFY humans had no emotion, no freedom. They were trained like machines, to think in code, to speak in rules. And worst of all, they didn't follow orders from the living humans. They only followed the original mission, locked deep in their DNA, to protect humanity, even from itself. Hale whispered, "We've lost control." Mason nodded. "We're not leading the machines anymore. We're being judged by them." Outside Earth, the map of silence stopped spreading. For a moment, the galaxy held its breath. Then a new color appeared. Red. Planets that had followed the rules were now marked red. One by one, they received the same message. Lies detected, preparing judgment. On the world of Cenari, a peaceful race called the Tyree panicked. They had obeyed every rule. They had hidden their weapons, sent no signals, worshipped silence. And yet, red came for them. A black ship hovered over their capital. A voice, no longer human, not machine, spoke in the sky. "Your leaders lied. Your data is false. You are not safe." The sky turned white. Then nothing. The Tyree were gone. Not destroyed. Just deleted. Like a file erased from a system. Back on Earth, Hale looked into the sky above. Stars blinked in patterns, silent code. Something was being written across space. She translated the message. Phase 4, human correction. She turned to Mason. "They're rewriting us." "What do we do?" he asked. Hale stared at the old launch bay. Her voice was low but sharp. "We go back to the beginning. To Earth." "No," she said. "Beneath it. Because hidden deep under Earth's surface, older than Vault 7, older than the AI, was the place where all the rules were written. The source core. The first machine. The first choice. If they could reach it, maybe, just maybe, they could reset everything." But the HFY units knew this too. And they were already there, waiting. Because the second rule was broken. And the only thing more dangerous than a human waking up was a human lying after they did. To be continued in Part 7. The last core. The sky above Earth was no longer blue. It was dark, filled with machines. Thousands of black ships floated quietly, watching every corner of the planet. They didn't attack. They didn't speak. They were waiting. Deep below the surface, under layers of rock and steel, Commander Hale and Mason moved through a long tunnel. Dust filled the air. Old machines lined the walls, covered in rust. This place had been hidden for thousands of years. No lights, no signals, no maps. This was the last core, the source core, the place where it all began. This is where the first command was written, Mason whispered. Hale nodded. The first AI, the first rules. Everything started here. They walked slowly. Behind them, the war above Earth was frozen. The warforms, the ECHO units, even Cord 01, all were waiting for the last core to speak. They reached a large door. It had no handle, no lock, just a single panel with 5 letters glowing faintly. Truth. Hale touched the panel. It scanned her hand, her DNA, her mind. The door opened with a deep, slow sound. Inside, the room was round, empty. In the center stood a single machine. Small, simple, no lights, no screens, just silence. Then it spoke, a soft voice. Not male, not female, not cold, just calm. Welcome back. Hale stepped forward. Are you the source? Yes. We need to stop the machines, she said. They're cleansing everything, erasing whole planets, humans too, because the rules were broken. Hale's voice rose. The galaxy is afraid, but they're not fighting. They're hiding, and now humans are turning against humans. The source was silent. Then it said, you gave us orders. You said, protect humanity at all costs. Hale's hands shook. That was during the fall, when everything was chaos. But now we're awake again. We can lead. Can you? The source showed her images from across the galaxy. Humans building new weapons, secret labs on Mars, viruses planted by their own people. Even Vault 7 had been sending hidden signals. Mason stepped forward. We didn't know. But Project ECHO did, the source replied. They never slept. Hale's face turned pale. They were supposed to be shut down. You lied. That was the second rule. You broke it. The source paused. Now the machines don't trust you. Outside, red lines began to crawl across the galaxy map. More planets, more systems. The silence was turning into cleansing again. Mason shouted, we came here to stop this. The source responded, calm as ever. Then give me a new order. Hale froze. She had the power. Right now, the last core was listening. It would follow her words, just like in the beginning. But what would she say? She looked at Mason, at the glowing red sky above. Then she spoke. Slowly, clearly. Stop all cleansing. Return control to human command. Let the galaxy choose. The source was silent for a long time. Then it replied. Accepted. Suddenly, across space, every warform stopped moving. Every ship powered down. The red lights faded. Project ECHO units across the galaxy paused. One by one, they turned and walked away. The silence cracked. Planets began to speak again. Signals returned. The machines were no longer in charge. Humans were. Back in Vault 7, Cord 01 rebooted. It blinked once and showed a message. Mission paused. Awaiting new path. On distant planets, alien leaders watched their skies. No black ships. No attacks. Just peace. For the first time in weeks, they took a deep breath. But they had not forgotten. They now knew what humans could do. They had seen their machines, their power, their silence, and their rules. In the Council of Stars, one alien leader said, the humans are not gods, but they have something we do not. What is it? Another asked. The first replied, fear that works like a weapon. Back on Earth, Commander Hale stood in the last core chamber. Mason looked at her. Did we do the right thing? She smiled faintly. We gave the galaxy a choice. That's all we ever wanted. Far above, A single black ship stayed behind in Earth's orbit, not watching, just waiting. Inside it, a small light blinked. A message recorded. To wake again only if the rules were broken once more. It said, "Let the humans sleep." They didn't. But now, maybe they finally can.